I could not be more delighted to be joined by our next guest, Dr. Natasha Knight of Taking It Pro, a recently founded organization that's helping women discover their career and professional development. And this is certainly key. Dr. Knight, Natasha, it's wonderful to see you today.
It's great to see you too, Jessica.
This is such an interesting conversation. The firm focuses on helping women and women of color be energized, bold, and relentless in achieving career success. Those are all things that sound like music to our ears when you're on this pursuit of defining that passion or maybe furthering that passion.
Absolutely. So, we really want women to be able to define career success on their own terms. And so, exactly what you said, finding that passion, defining it, figuring out how to get there, that's what we're really all about when it comes to taking it pro.
We're talking today, you're going to help us with women recognize your strengths to create your successful career. You have some insights for us on really getting this going and helping to define those strengths.
Absolutely. So, one of the first things I want to share with folks is that a lot of times when we're asked the dreaded question, a lot of us dread the question, what are your strengths? And we often talk about our skills because we're conditioned to think that skills and things that we do well are naturally our strengths. And really, strengths and skills are two different things. So, your strengths are the talents and the gifts that you were born with. There's actually some hereditary component to your strengths, and your skills are competencies that you develop over time through practice. So your strengths are things like being analytical or being deliberative or being able to win others over. And your skills are things like being able to do paperwork or being able to mentor or manage people. They're very different, but they overlap at the same time. So just keep in mind, first of all, that your strengths and your skills are two different things. It's also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just find it fascinating because I think I've certainly been in this path where you're making one attribute the other. So it must be so enlightening when you work with clients, when you're working with women, and they have that aha moment of, oh, I didn't realize that was a strength.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. People will say, "Well, that really describes me. How did they know XYZ about me?" And it's because we're so unique that when you put your strengths together, you're really not just one in a million, but you're one in 33 million, according to some studies. So if you're looking at your top five strengths, for example, the odds of someone else having your exact same strengths is pretty rare. So we're all unique and we should all be able to use our unique combination of strengths to build the careers that we want.
But making sure that you are defining those is key as you're working with clients,
Mhm.
having them discover that really does begin to pave that path. There's not necessarily, you say, a perfect match for those strengths.
No, there's not. It's not to say that if you have the skill of being analytical, that you should go into a field that requires a lot of data analysis or financial analysis. That's not what your strengths say. Your strengths really just sort of tell you where you can get into a natural flow of things. Where when you're using your strengths, you're really more likely to be engaged in your work and to enjoy your work. So it's important to find work that allows you to play to your strengths. And when you're in roles that really don't allow you to play to any of your top strengths, that's when you can find some difficulty. But it's not to say that you can't be successful in a field that doesn't necessarily sound like it would align perfectly with your strengths.
I really could talk with you for the full hour about what this means and what it does, especially in setting the intentions. Let me ask you one other question on defining those strengths. When you have an understanding of your strengths,
Mhm.
this definitely can impact your satisfaction in terms of what you're doing. And then I would also imagine it impacts the bottom line pretty significantly.
I would say so, because if you're able to play to your strengths, you're able to perform better in your position. You're able to go after positions that are best suited for you. And those are the positions where you're going to find likely the most success. And we know that when we're engaged and when we are doing all of the signs, that are, typical of model employees, then you're more likely to, as you said, that bottom line is going to change. You're going to be able to go for positions in which you can advance and where you can really start to build a career that's focused on growth as opposed to getting stuck in something.
Well, we have good news to share with everyone joining us right now, because I would love to continue this conversation, but you are going to continue this conversation. You're participating in the How She Built It series with Nabo of Richmond. And so folks can join you for this conversation coming up. I'm pretty sure you're excited about that right around the corner.
I am excited. So I'm going to have the opportunity to share my story, not only about taking a pro, but about my coaching practice, discover the remarkable you, and how all of these things came to be in my own journey with figuring out what my strengths are and really allowing myself to play to those strengths and not just sort of follow the status quo.
Absolutely. NABO Richmond, of course, National Association of Women Business Owners. This chapter in Richmond doing some great things. And congratulations for being recognized this year for the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
My pleasure. And we'll share all the information so folks can join you for that upcoming session on How She Built It from NABO Richmond. And thank you for sharing these insights with us today, Natasha.
Thank you for.
NABO Richmond event is coming up this Wednesday, January 27th from 4 to 5 p.m. You can enjoy the How She Built It series featuring Dr. Natasha Knight. The cost for members is $15 and $30 for guests. For more information, visit NABO, that's N-A-W-B-O, richmond.org. Jess, that was so interesting. I'm sitting here trying to think about we just had New Year's, and at New Year's, you think of all the things you want to do and how you want to change yourself, and it's kind of looking at your weaknesses. It's like, oh, I want to eat better. I want to work harder. I want to do all these things. And strengths. And then she threw in the fact that I thought that I've always thought were my strengths aren't really my strengths at all. It's like, I need more time.
I know. That's why I said, Natasha, I could talk with you for the entire hour. I did ask her this when we wrapped our interview. And I said, okay, when you're working with women and with clients, because she works with men and women as well, but when you're working and coaching, how long does this process take? And, how long does it take? I had no concept. And Natasha shared that sometimes, just as with everything, you're pretty much like right there. You sort of just need to flip that switch, like you said, instead of focusing on the things that were wrong that you wanted to fix and capitalizing on those attributes, those strengths, and knowing what they are, verbalizing it, putting it out loud. And she said she's had people turn a corner and find exactly what they wanted to do and be hired and in that new path in very short order. For other folks, we're all different. It may take a little while, but it's just interesting to start thinking about that, having that conversation and that reframing.
My head almost exploded there when she said, that's not your strength. I'm going like, well, that's what I've always thought. Obviously, I'm going to need some time. I'm going to have to call her.
Yes. And I felt like during the interview, I was making that face to some degree of kind of like I was there and I wanted to understand it, but it was flipping the script in a major way of taking that approach. But hey, if you're passionate about what you do or you have the opportunity, it's not going to feel like work. You're going to be engaged. I mean, that is the right path. So again, career coaching and investing in yourself. It's the beginning of the year and we're thinking about ways to really make a difference. That could be a real way. I would suggest logging on to NABO Richmond and being able to follow along in that conversation. She was great. And I did ask her to come back and talk with us some more. So we'll have some more insights.
Yeah, come back and spend the day with us because I got lots of questions. All right, we'll sort through those and stick around because we'll be right back.